How's it going, guys? White Rabbit here. Today I'd like to talk to you about something that I brought up at the end of the last video I posted, the Mockingjay video. And if you guys haven't already seen that video from beginning to end, please go ahead and watch it before you watch this. But at any rate, if you aren't aware of what I brought up at the end of that video, I'll go ahead and give you a quick recap. Making these videos for you guys is a full-time job for me. It may not be immediately apparent to some of you, especially those of you who don't necessarily have first-hand experience in video editing and things, but when it comes to putting these videos together for you all, it takes an enormous amount of time. For every 1 minute that you guys see of completed edited video, that represents on average approximately 1 to 2 hours or more of actual editing. That doesn't include the research time, which is another huge variable, the conceptual time, the time it takes to develop the concept and get my thoughts in order and plan everything out, the rendering time, the upload time, the time it takes to make the thumbnail, so on and so forth. And so the ultimate outcome is, over the past several months, I have been working full-time at developing this channel and producing videos for you guys. And on average, I've been working, anywhere from 60 to sometimes 80 hours or more a week just researching and editing these things together. And the reason I have been able to do this is because, for one, I have felt extremely passionate about this. And in some sense, I feel as though I've been called to help out in this way. And thankfully, I had been blessed with some savings which enabled me to have the time to do this. At any rate, at the end of that video, I was reaching out to you guys and trying to explain that my resources are beginning to dwindle. And in order to be able to continue making videos for you guys, I would need some help financially so that I could keep, my head above water, so to speak. And I want to make something clear, and that is that I was not demanding money from you guys. And I certainly wasn't trying to imply that you all need to donate money. And in fact, if you are a student, if you are still living with your parents, or, if you don't really have the monetary means to donate, then I would actually prefer that you don't. But if you are monetarily blessed and able and willing to donate, so that I am able to continue doing this, I would appreciate it more than you guys would ever know. And one of the things that I brought up at the end of that video was that most of you guys probably wouldn't hesitate to have a Netflix account or a Hulu account. And most of you guys, wouldn't hesitate to spend 20 or 30 bucks going to the movie theater. And here I am at the same time, breaking down all of this stuff and trying to spread the truth and wake people up and do it in a somewhat captivating way so that it's easier for people to sit through and watch and learn these things. And I just figured that there has to be some value in that. But at any rate, the reason that I'm making this video now is for two main reasons. The first reason is to thank those of you who have already donated, and I'll get to that in a second. And the second reason is many of you have left suggestions of other ways that I should look into raising funds in order to continue my work here. And one of those suggestions was a website called Patreon. And now, I had heard of Patreon before, but I'd never really looked into it. But I've gone ahead and set up a Patreon page, and let me tell you some of the reasons why. First off, it allows more ways for you to pay other than just PayPal. So that's the first reason. The second reason is it's extremely easy to set up an account and use. And the third reason is of the transparency. In the truth movement especially, there's a lot of concern about, wolves in sheep's clothing, so to speak. And especially when you start asking people for money and contributions in order to help your projects, usually red flags go off right away in people's minds, and respectably so. But on Patreon, you guys will be able to see exactly how much money I would be bringing in each month in order to fund this stuff. And I think in that sense, it would bring some of you guys some comfort in knowing that I'm not just milking everybody for cash in order to, as one of you guys said, buy the lot next to the Pope. And it also lays out and shows you guys certain benchmarks, certain goals that we're trying to achieve for. And it also gives you guys incentives for donating and rewards for donating. And I tried to make the rewards as reasonable as I could, and hopefully you guys all think that they're fair. But the fourth and final reason that I decided to go ahead and make a Patreon account, and I think this is going to be huge for you guys, is that if any of you were to contribute using that website and you all of a sudden decided that I wasn't producing good content or that you disagreed with what I was making all of a sudden, you have the ability to request a full refund. And I thought that was really cool for you guys because, especially in this community when we are constantly in fear of people who are turning into shills or whatever, or just flat out starting to put out bad information. This is kind of a guarantee for you guys. I thought that was a really neat idea, and I went ahead and set up a page, and I'll leave a link for that in the description of this video down below. And for any of you guys who are interested in contributing, just know that I would appreciate it so, so much, even if it's only $1 a month. If we could get enough of you guys to support me on this, I'll be able to continue making videos without skipping a beat and continue waking people up. Now, in addition to that, for those of you who aren't able to contribute or donate monthly, the PayPal option is still going to be available. So if you can only donate, sporadically or one time or whatever it is, that method is still available and still greatly appreciated. Don't think for a second that I don't appreciate those as well. And some of you guys asked if I could do a P.O. box or something, and I'm going to have to put that off for a little bit. Apparently, getting a P.O. box is a little bit more expensive than I expected it to be, so I'll have to wait on that. But I think between Patreon and PayPal, between those two options, we should be set up and in good shape. So that takes care of the business end. Now let's get to the mushy part of this video. For those of you who have already donated, whether it was only $1 or the $10 that I was originally asking for or even more, I want you to know that that meant so much to me. When I started seeing some of these donations coming in, I just had this huge weight lift off of my shoulders, and I was so humbled that you all cared so much about this channel and what I'm trying to do here, and that you guys really appreciate the effort that goes into these videos. It was truly unbelievable how many of you guys came through for me like that. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never really thought that many of you guys would be so giving and so understanding of where I was coming from and so helpful. And even those of you who weren't able to donate, but were still extremely supportive and encouraging for me to continue doing this work, just know that it meant the absolute world to me. It was, like I said, extremely humbling and reassuring to me that I am, making some bit of difference, no matter how small it is. I am making, something that you guys appreciate, and I am waking people up, and so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I also want to let you guys know that thanks to your guys' amazing help, not only was a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders, but I was able to go ahead and purchase a new hard drive, which I was in desperate need of, in order to start editing together part 2 of the Genesis theory. So thanks to you guys, as soon as that hard drive comes in the mail in the next couple of days, I'll be able to get to work piecing that one together, and I think you guys are really, really going to like it. I'm going to be bringing up some stuff that has never before been addressed, or at least not that I know of, and I think it'll be really neat once I have it all done. So, and also just on one last little side note here, for those of you who went ahead and made monthly commitments, monthly payments using PayPal, I encourage you to go ahead and switch over to Patreon to make those monthly contributions, because there are some incentives and some rewards, such as, the ability to vote on the order in which I make some of these videos, access to a forum where I will be giving some secret links and things and also even a chance to, you know, have a one-on-one Skype call or whatever with me. So I encourage you, if you have already done the month-to-month on the PayPal, to go ahead and switch it over to the Patreon page. And again, guys, thank you so much. I'm just speechless, really. Thank you guys, and God bless.